Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Wednesday, September 10th, 2014. The first article I have today is referring back to what I talked about yesterday. 9/11, from Larouche PAC, Capitol Hill press conference condemns Obama as 9/11 liar. And there are 3 congressmen who joined 7 family members of those killed in the 9/11 attacks in a powerful Capitol Hill press conference yesterday, reiterating the demand that President Obama fulfill his promise and declassify the 28 pages from the original 9/11 joint congressional inquiry exposing the role of the Saudi kingdom in supporting the terrorist attack. Hopefully this will really make some headway this year, and hopefully there will not be another terror event this year. I'm anticipating, hoping for, looking for breakthrough into the golden age that I mentioned yesterday. And of course today is September 10th. So it is the day to tell lawmakers protect internet freedom, defend net neutrality. And I placed this widget on a couple of my websites. I have more websites than I care to think about. Most of them are WordPress. But I really only contribute to 2 of them pretty much every day. And so I have the widget on those 2. And of course this is the Pearls of Liberty website, and this is 99th Monkey News, and I already closed the window here for the internet slowdown. I do hope that you are participating in that. I saw a tweet this morning that even Netflix is participating in that demand for preservation of internet freedom. So that was pretty encouraging. People are aware of what's going on with that. But I also I showed these 2 websites that I maintain on a pretty much daily basis to show that, but also just as a reminder that you can come here and watch the video and get the notes for 99th Monkey News. And this doesn't show that way here, but 99thmonkeynews.com will get you to this site. And I bring it up because I've noticed that YouTube has changed the way they do some things, and the daily video is not immediately available on YouTube by going to the Sand to Pearls page. And I really don't know how long they wait before they send out the announcement to subscribers that the video for the day is ready. So if you want to see the video as soon as possible, you can go to pearlsofliberty.com or 99thmonkeynews.com and find the video usually about 5 minutes after it's available on YouTube. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that that venue is available, because YouTube is YouTube, and they do things the way they do things, and I've just, as I said, noticed that they don't always make videos available right away. And of course, if it's news, if you're like me, you want it right away as soon as it's out there. From Infowars.com, this is just kind of interesting, and I kind of have just different kinds of news today, not a real powerful focus on any one thing. James Woods on a mission issues holder challenge, asks followers for help. And I don't follow James Woods, but in light of this, I probably will start to, and I will retweet this as he requested. He is trying to have justice pertain equally to all Americans, and he's calling attention to how racism is put all on white people, and that there is a lot of racism that's directed at white people. And he's calling attention here to black on white crime. Whenever there's white on black crime, it's all over the network news, the mainstream media. And he is hoping to achieve some measure of balance in bringing to light when there is black on white crime. And I believe this overall is a positive thing, because I believe that it's crucial for us to stop having divisions along race lines. And when the divisions are threatening to all of us is when something doesn't pertain evenly to all races. And when there are riots, like in Ferguson, when a white person does something to a black person, it's important to point out that sometimes black people do things to white people as well. And not to be defensive as white people, but just as a reminder to everybody that if you want to point out racism, then you should not be racist. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Alex Jones yesterday was talking about the Apple Watch and how it monitors your heart, your health habits, your exercise habits, how far you walk when you walk, and whether or not you take the stairs. And of course, this information is not going to be kept private. And just in thinking about this yesterday, I was thinking about the Xbox and how much information the new Xbox gleans and has the ability to report online. And maybe this is Apple's own little brand of competition with Microsoft to see who can provide the most private information to those who want to purchase it. Or in the case of the government, sometimes get it for free. So wear at your own risk. Hopefully people are becoming more and more wise about these kinds of spy devices that we buy and bring into our homes. And from Zero Hedge, UK in full panic mode rains Brimstone and Bribes on Scotland as yes to independence poll crosses 50%. I haven't said a whole lot about the move in Scotland to become independent from the UK. I believe I have heard Ian Clayton, the preacher who I mentioned yesterday, say that he hopes that this won't happen, that the UK needs Scotland in order to move into the next phase of God's purposes for the UK. But certainly I understand their desire to break away. And if they do vote for independence, I'm guessing this will kind of pave the way maybe for Ireland to do the same. And it's difficult to tell where this may lead. I'd love to see Scotland and Ireland follow Iceland in becoming free, and even something Argentina's trying to do, in becoming free from the banks and get out from under the bankers' thumbs. I did see something somewhere that the Bank of England already has plans, contingency plans, in case Scotland does declare independence. But we'll all be keeping an eye on that, I'm sure. And this is just, of course, true to form, Zero Hedge has some nice graphics and some great information here. One thing that happened is, in this, you could think that this might be contrived in order to have people in Scotland feel drawn to the royals and want to remain affiliated with them. William and Kate announced that Kate is going to have a second baby. So I don't think these people are above using their families in order to manipulate public sentiment, and I think it's entirely possible that they coordinated that, or maybe, maybe now she's pregnant now, whether she was when they announced it or not, or she will be in a few days, or maybe, as some people believe, a surrogate mother is pregnant and carrying her baby. Some people, it's a conspiracy theory, sure, but some people believe that Kate never was pregnant and that her child was carried by a surrogate. And of course, there's a Sherlock episode, a scandal in Belgravia that, without naming Kate, kind of references Kate. I always find that interesting. Alex Jones mentioned this yesterday, and it kind of blew my mind. Infowars.com. In North Carolina, more children homeschool than attend private schools. That statistic may seem shocking if you've been a stranger to the growth of the homeschooling movement. Homeschooling is really taking off, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. I did send my own children to private school. It was a nice, innocent, for the most part, Christian school, and they received a nice education, a good education, better, I'm sure, than public schools. They seem to have broad knowledge of a lot of things. But homeschooling, there's even more potential. Really, if a child is particularly good at something, you can allow them to follow their passions. And if they're particularly poor at something, you can, really give them one-on-one help. So it's a great way to educate children, and I think a promise for a better future. And it's pretty great that North Carolina is advancing like this. I was on the Larouche PAC website this morning because I saw some tweets that interested me, and I happened to see this article. This is a new period of history. The old systems have ended. I certainly hope that is true. And Helga, a member of the Larouche family, has been traveling around, and that's who's referenced here. And I want to read this paragraph. What she's done in China is something that will never be forgotten. This is historic. This is one of the most important things that ever happened to the world at large. We're now in a period where everything you thought that's true of South America is merely a secondary phenomenon. Everything you thought you knew about the history of mankind is probably merely a secondary phenomenon, if even that. You've got to change the way you think. You can no longer continue to behave the way you used to think, because the way you think does not conform to the standard that you're going to have to measure up to. And this is, he means that whoever wrote this article, I don't know if Lyndon Larouche wrote this article, but this is meant in a positive light. The old systems have ended. Where we are now effectively moving in charge of the future of mankind. And that's what we're doing as we sit in these quarters presently now. We're now sitting amidst the future of mankind. And that is true for all of us. We make decisions every day, even if it's just something small, of whether to mention something to somebody on a commuter train, or how to address some of these issues, talking to family on holidays about issues like 9/11 and vaccines. And it certainly becomes easier to do that as more information comes out. certainly with information about MMR vaccines, even the government admitting that, because they've settled lawsuits, admitting that there are problems with vaccines. We're all gaining a lot of ammunition that we can use against the New World Order. And of course, that ammunition is all ideas and the power to share them with people in ways that brings about this shift. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, and morning always comes. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty by enforcing the Bill of Rights.